Good morning, students. I, Rashmi ma'am, is again back with your online classes, or you can say online session in subject biology for class 8. Yesterday we were up to importance of transpiration. Today we have to complete our chapter, which is importance of minerals also. Yesterday we have completed that why transpiration is important to us. Now, why it is important? So, the significance of transpiration tells us that maintaining a cooling effect by taking up the heat of the plant and converting the water to water vapor, which is given off during transpiration, means what? With the help of the transpiration, plant release the heat. That's why it helps to maintain their cooling effect, and also converting the water into the water vapor, which is given off during transpiration, Now, maintaining optimum turgor pressure as plant absorb excess amount of water which is released during termination, hence maintaining an optimum amount of turgor pressure for healthy and normal growth. Now, over here you can say, ma'am, what is turgor pressure? Maintaining optimum turgor pressure is that pressure in which if there is excess amount of water being absorbed by the plant, it will be as a suction force, it will be released from the plant and make the plant healthy and in a normal growth situation. Termination, hence maintaining an optimum amount of turgor pressure. Third one is helps in transportation of minerals. This transpiration also helps in the transportation of minerals which have been absorbed by the roots from the soil with the help of transpiration pools, which is again being distribution in a proper manner of the minerals to the plant. So, transportation is also being helpful with the help of the transpiration pool in which plants absorb the mineral from the soil and being in the proper distribution of minerals. Help in water transport by creating a transpiration pool and hence maintaining a continuous water supply to the top. If transpiration is going on, there should be a transpiration pool also being working, and this transpiration pool, what is done, it makes the balance between the absorption and the conduction. The root is absorbing the water from the soil continuously, and with the help of suction force it is being supplied to the top of the plant through the transpiration pool. So, that much of transpiration, that much of absorption and that much of conduction of water will be in a regular manner. Now, what is transpiration pool? When the plant loses water through transpiration from the leaves, water and mineral salts from the stem and roots moves or is pulled upward into the leaves, water, and is therefore taken up from the soil by osmosis and finally exits the plant through the stomata. Stomata, which results what? For the evaporation, from the evaporation of water from the surfaces of the mesophyll layer in the leaf to the atmosphere through stomata. Evaporation of water from the leaf surface causes a negative pressure in the xylem that pulls water from the root and soil. This results in water being drawn up the xylem vessel. Transpiration pools is nothing else which draws water from the roots to the leaves because of the effect of capillary action. We know that in the transpiration, this suction force is also built. Transpiration builds a suction force. Why? Because called transpiration pool. The suction force is called the transpiration pool in the xylem vessels, which is pulls water up to the top of the tree. So, when the pores of the stomata are open in the light in the morning time, that much of transpiration will be moved on with the help of the sunlight. So if there is a loss of water into the plant, this suction force or the transpiration pulls start working from the roots, which is the absorption of as much as water and being providing towards or being up in an upward direction being given to the top of the plant with the help of the xylem vessels, which is pulls water up to the top of a tree, and this is also known as its capillary action. The primary forces that create the capillary action are adhesion and cohesion. Adhesion is the attraction and cohesion is what? Adhesion is what? Adhesion is the attraction that occurs between water and the surface of the xylem, and cohesion is the attraction between water molecules. Now, adhesion and cohesion is the capillary action, in which adhesion is saying that it puts the attraction between water and surface of the xylem. Means if there will be a transpiration pull, then there will be a magnetic force working in the water which always attract the water through the xylem vessels. And cohesion is that kind of attraction which helps the water molecules to flow in an upward direction. Now we are going to read, this was the transpiration which I have completed, and the last one topic is your importance of minerals. Now, in inorganic elements which plants obtain from the soil are in the form of minerals. More than 60 elements are found in different plants, but only 17 elements are absolutely necessary for the plants. See, when the plant is absorbing water, that time the root also absorb inorganic elements from the soil. So, there are 60 elements which are found in different kind of plant, but only 17 of the elements are very much necessary for the plant for their growth and the development. They are called essential elements, while rest are the non-essential elements. Sorry. So, the essential elements are needed as a structural component. So, these 17 elements which is very much necessary for the growth and the development of the plant, it is the essential elements, because with the help of these 17 elements, plant take good care of himself, have a good growth and the development which helps them for the longer lasting. Now, here are the essential elements being divided into two: macronutrients and micronutrients. Macronutrients and micronutrients. There are loads of minerals present in the soil. There are lots of minerals which we can't observe also, that are absorbed by the root hairs and transferred to the other plants or other parts of the plant. This is how we all receive nutrients when we consume different parts of the plant. A large number of inorganic elements are essential for all the life processes and hence should be taken in our diets in adequate amounts. A deficiency in these minerals leads to an abnormality in the metabolic functioning of the body. So, you should know there are many kinds of minerals present in the soil, which are being absorbed by the root hairs and transferred to the different parts of the plant. So, this is how when you eat different kinds of plant like spinach, like lady's finger, different kinds of vegetable, this plant which receive different kinds of mineral are put inside that things also. When we eat that all, we receive all the nutrients which have been absorbed by the plant from the soil is now in our human body also with the help of these plants only. If there will be not a balanced diet, there would be a deficiency of these minerals and leads to an abnormality in the metabolic functioning of the body. So, if we didn't get these elements, there should be abnormality in the functioning of our body. Our metabolism, which is working in a proper manner, will stop working and we will show some abnormal function. A healthy body has to be get every inorganic elements, and we should take always a proper diet, because when we eat the different kinds of vegetables, fruits, we get these nutrients which they absorb from the soil, and this is how we indirectly we take all the elements in our body and complete our diet, which makes our body a proper metabolic functioning body. As of now, around 105 minerals have been discovered. About 60 to 65 minerals are absorbed by the plant, and different species of plants take different minerals. Few essential minerals that plant take for growth and development are calcium, nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus, magnesium, sulfur. So what are the important elements which plant, or you can say the essential elements which plant take for their growth and development? First is your calcium, second is your nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus, magnesium and sulfur. Here are some criteria you can determine these minerals for the essential of the plant. There are certain minerals like phosphorus and magnesium, which is essential for the reproduction, growth and development of the plant. As like human body also need some important minerals for their reproduction, growth and development. We know that if we get in a proper amount, if we get our body get the protein, we have a normal growth also. So likewise, if our body will get in a proper manner the phosphorus, the magnesium, there should be the reproduction and the development. So likewise, plant also need all these things, phosphorus, magnesium and other essential for their reproduction, growth and development of the plant. So two essential minerals which are phosphorus and magnesium help the plant for the reproduction, growth and development. The minerals absorbed by the roots are mineral ions dissolved in the soil and water. They support plants to complete their life cycle and are to produce seeds. So different types of mineral ions which plant absorb through the leaves are dissolved in the soil and the water, which supports plant to complete their life cycle and are to produce seeds also. With the help of this mineral ion, plants easily complete their life cycle and produces seeds. The deficiency of nitrogen, iron, copper and sulfur result in stunted growth, insufficient chlorophyll in leaves and cells, senescence and etc. So if there is the deficiency of which essential nutrients, nitrogen, iron, copper and sulfur, plants development will stop. They will not have a sufficient amount of chlorophyll to do the photosynthesis. Likewise, if they will not do the photosynthesis, then how they will get the food? And if they are not going to get the proper food to the different parts of the plant will die because of lack of food. Likewise, we also need a proper food, then only we can move, we can walk. If we didn't get the balanced diet or the proper food in a whole day, what will happen? Next day you will feel very low. Weakness will found in your body, and in day by day, if this weakness continues, after some day we will at the died point. Same thing happens in the plant also. If they didn't get nitrogen, iron, copper, sulfur in the sufficient amount, they are unable to have the chlorophyll which helps them to do photosynthesis. And if they didn't do the photosynthesis that time, then how the food will prepare the food? And if the plants are not preparing the food, how they will transfer to every part of the plant? And if every part of the plant is not getting the food, what will happen? They will be stunned, means they are now in a point where they are going to die.